So this prophecy consists of 6 dates. 6 dates to look for signs in nature. Signs of what? I cannot say. But this is a message against authoritarianism. Authoritarianism in all of its forms and wherever it may be found. And Donald Trump has written to the leaders of 40 African nations saying he never said anything about shithole countries, about people. Why do we need all these people from shithole countries? He's denying that he said that. And if you believe Donald Trump never said it, after quite a few people who were at the meeting about DACA said that he did say it, then you'd probably might as well be living in Russia and going to vote obediently for Vladimir Putin, or for one of the supposed alternative candidates in the Russian elections, because you'd probably believe also that the earth is flat. So yes, this is a prophecy against authoritarianism, not just in Russia, but in Western capitalist democracies as well.
The Russian government is bracing itself for mass protests across the country as Vladimir Putin seeks another presidential term.
The demonstrations have been called by the anti-corruption campaigner Alexei Navalny, who's been banned from running in the upcoming vote because of a conviction over dubious fraud charges.
A farm manager turned presidential candidate. Pavel Grudinin is a rich man, but running as a communist. To critics, he's a Putin puppet, taking part just to make Russia's elections look like a real contest, even if he insists he's in it to win.
A lot of people say this is not a real election, it's a fake election, and we know who's going to win. Are you an actor in a play written by the Kremlin?
Many of the things you are here are not true, but I couldn't disagree with you more, because even the most difficult to win battle, you can win. I'm telling you one more time, I'm completely sure that if everyone will go to the elections, we will win them.
There's also the TV host turned candidate. Ksenia Sobchak confronted Vladimir Putin in a recent Q&A session. Critics say this is all for show. She's the daughter of a man who was his political mentor, and they say a creature of the Kremlin. Lawyer, poet and singer Katya Gordon was also hoping to run. But she's just dropped out of the race because she says the election is a farce. She worries for Russia's future.
If they won't change the rules of play, one day we'll have a revolution, really. Russians are very calm and maybe lazy for a long period, but then something happens and we stand and we begin to fight because we cannot stand it anymore.
This is an election where the government chooses who gets to run as candidates, where the government controls the media and to some extent even the opinion polls. For Vladimir Putin, the challenge isn't whether or not he'll win, that's almost a foregone conclusion. It's whether enough voters bother turning up to make this election look in any way credible.
Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Moscow.
Well, here's some hardcore trivia for you. The sky is blue. 1 + 1 is?
2.
And the world is?
Is this a pub quiz? Where's this going?
Round. Well, they're seemingly simple truths, but we've been taught since we're children. Some are not convinced.
Oh, here we go. This week, hundreds of people travelled from around, or rather across the world, to attend the Flat Earthers Conference. You guessed it, where? The United States.
There's at least one truth we thought was indisputable. And the Earth is...
Flat.
The Earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the Earth is flat and stationary.
Or so I thought. But for the people attending the first Flat Earth International Conference here in Cary, North Carolina, their Earth, indisputably, is not round.
Yeah, everybody here can agree on absolutely one thing, which is it is not a globe.
For centuries, a flat Earth was accepted as certainty until science and sailboats said otherwise.
And one of the rules of power is you never admit that there's someone bigger than yourself.
But it wasn't until 2015 when this guy, Mark Sargent, posted his Flat Earth clues.
Part of a series of clues that can help you get your head around both the design of the flat Earth system we live in.
I did not invent flat Earth. All I did was walk up to a door, point at it, and say, you know what? I think there's some really interesting things on the other side of this.
Like many modern movements, this one has grown in large part out of the internet, with rappers like Odd TV evangelizing to hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
No more living on a cartoon ball.
And YouTube channels like
Globebusters
encouraging skepticism about what you've been taught. For the serious students here at the conference,
And this has got to a point now where it's becoming real.
it all comes down to proof.
When it comes to science, there's things you can test right now, right? Fire burns, water's wet, drop something, falls to the ground, that appears to be gravity. Those are things you can test, right?
But the curving horizon, the sloping sea level, the spin of the Earth, unless you can see these phenomena with your own eyes, they may not be true.
A lot of people are going,
This is crazy, right? But think about this. For the last 20, 25 generations, this is what we've told people.
Unlike what we've been told in school, some flat earthers imagine the Earth looks like a snow globe, round but not sphere. The North Pole is at the center of most flat Earth maps, with the ice of Antarctica holding everything in. Those iconic blue marble images seen from space, flat earthers denounce them as fakes.
You start seeing words like composite or animation or something that tells you this is not an actual photograph.
and the Earth is
Round. Just like it is here. This model of it.
Professor Mike Massimino spent more than 20 days in space and worked on the Hubble telescope.
So when you looked at the planet, what did it look like?
It looks round, folks. It is round. My eyewitness account.
Some flat earthers actually believe astronauts are just actors, part of a huge conspiracy going back to those very first steps on the moon.